With this topic, it might be interesting, particularly to those who are struggling to find the right people when they're needed, to hear how tech recruitment can be made easier. Here to tell us more about this is Chris Gyere, who is Head of Tech Recruitment at Pentasia and the Conexus Group. Chris, welcome. Welcome back again. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, thank you. Thank you, Willem, and thank you to the team. I'm going to be talking a little bit about AI in recruitment. Is it a friend or is it a foe? So I'd like everybody to look at the Slido. We have a quick question to go out for the crowd. So given your current knowledge of AI and automation, would you feel comfortable using AI technology in your day-to-day role when recruiting? So I'll just give you a couple of moments to answer that. Okay. Perfect. So some of the efficacies of AI with regards to recruiting. One of the main benefits is quicker shortlisting. What may take an employee a large amount of time, AI can have it done in a very short amount of time. What can also be improved is consistencies within the process. So, for example, rejection letters. We read and hear so much about a bad interview experience whereby people don't get rejection letters, people get ghosted. So through the use of AI, you can have a uniform and consistent process whereby if somebody is not successful, with a quick click of the button, they can be treated with accordingly and informed accordingly, improving the interview experience. And another one of the main points is the reduction in mundane and time-consuming tasks. We all have tasks in our day-to-day, and especially within the recruitment process, whereby it's very time-consuming. It can be very dull and boring. By using AI, what can take a number of hours or days can be reduced to minutes. An example of this. An example of this is the Klarna chatbot. So Klarna launched a chatbot, and within the first month, it carried out 2.3 million conversations, which accounted for 2/3 of Klarna's customer service chats, which would have taken 700 full-time agents to complete. In terms of feedback, it is on par with human agents in regard to customer satisfaction score. It's available in 23 markets, 24/7, and communicates in more than 35 languages. It's estimated to drive over $40 million in profit improvement to Klarna for 2024. And it has meant that they can cut down on 2/3 of their customer service team. As I said, it's done the work of over 700 full-time customer service employees. From a candidate perspective, the benefits from a candidate can be in writing CVs and in cover letters. This can be a positive and a negative, whereby it makes them look much better on paper than they actually are in reality. It means that they can increase the amount of jobs that they apply for. So perhaps instead of taking the time to research and apply for companies that they really would like to work for, they can spam the market, so to speak. So would you get the same kind of buy-in from a candidate if they're interviewing at multiple different places by using AI to increase the amount of interviews that they obtain? Something we're going to touch on in a little bit is the lack of human touch. Can AI account for that? And another example of where it hasn't worked is an Air Canada chatbot. They received a lawsuit because the chatbot or AI went about itself to create a discount code for a customer. The discount did not exist. The customer applied for the discount and was forced to pay the full fare. He took them to court, and the company was held accountable for that mistake in the chatbot. Now, that's a very small one-off occasion, but if that were to happen on a larger scale, it could be very, very damaging. So the depersonalization spectrum, at the end of the day, nothing will really beat face-to-face. People work with people at the end of the day. So be it a face-to-face or video conversation or even a phone call, a personal connection is made. When using AI, this is very much reduced and you lose that personal touch and perhaps the candidate experience isn't as strong as it could be. We're probably likely to see AI assistants in larger firms over smaller firms, whereby perhaps in the past larger firms can tend to move a little bit slower. AI can be used to speed that up, whereas in smaller companies they're able to provide a boutique or personalized experience, but at the same time don't necessarily have the numbers of employees that a larger firm would have. So AI could be used to supplement the smaller team that they have. So a bit of a rhetorical question. If initial stage interviews are carried out by AI and a candidate uses an AI avatar, would this skew the results and end up in a stalemate? We know of instances where candidates interviewing have had ChatGPT open or something similar and recording questions that the interviewer is asking in real time and in real time providing answers to those questions. So clearly that candidate would carry out the interview very well and is not a true representation of the interviewee. Anybody in this situation using that AI tool would comfortably pass the interview. So, in reality, if they were to be successful, you wouldn't see those same results in their day-to-day position. Another question, if both sides of an interview are using AI and the company were to find out, should the candidate be penalized? Bias. So does having a programmable AI system remove bias? On the positive side, Hero Hunt says 68% of recruiters think AI will remove such bias from the process. 48% of hiring managers admit to having some bias. And then in diversity, equity, inclusion, it gives every candidate a fair chance. Everybody is on a level playing field. On the negative aspect, it's understood that 44% of AI systems are embedded with gender bias, with about 26% displaying both gender and race bias. Facial recognition algorithms have a 35% higher detection error for recognizing gender of women of color compared to men with lighter skin. Up to 86% of employers use job interviews mediated by technology, a growing portion of which are automated video interviews, whereby candidates aren't having the same experience when they're dealing with a real person. First stage interview techniques are used whereby AI can inform immediately after the interview as if you've been successful or not. So on terminating or finishing the call or the interview, you're informed right away. Now this can have a negative impact if you've just come off an interview, you felt you've done well, and immediately you've been rejected. We know of cases where this has happened and people have been very unhappy about it. The systems can only be as unbiased as the people who have programmed the systems in the first place. And then again, if there are too many candidates to be filtering, any filters or any methods of filters you might input and use, there will be, of course, a permanent record. That can be a positive or a negative. Human skills. So the top 5 skills noted are communication, 77%, relationship building, 72%, critical thinking, 61%, and people can also provide their own opinions. The personal human touch, we believe, is paramount. Relationships over transactions will far outweigh any AI or technology. So just to see the results, these images were created, and for a little bit of fun, these images were created using an AI image creator, and the AI prompt was the perfect employee. And we can see here there's a little bit of bias. A picture says 1,000 words, and that is what AI sees as the perfect employee. So if you're using filtering methods with AI, that's what your employee is going to look like, supposedly. So there was another Slido, but perhaps with a show of hands, would people be open to using AI in a recruitment process, perhaps in your next hiring process? Is it something that you'd be open to using? Let's see a show of hands from anybody that'd be open to using it. Any that would be absolutely against using it? Oh, there we go. Cool. So AI is a very useful tool with regards to recruitment? Absolutely yes. However, it is just that, a tool. It still has a very long way to go before it can substitute the human factor, and there's still a lot of work to be done, but it can be very useful in increasing efficiency and speed. Cool. So, any questions?
Maybe there's any questions from the audience here. I have a microphone here. Maybe somebody's typing good question into ChatGPT now. If not, we have a Slido question here.
Yeah, so I can see here.
Chris, are you using yourself AI in your day-to-day role?
Yes, we are. But as I said, as a supplementary tool, it will never replace the work that our team does. But yes, in streamlining and making the process more efficient, we are using little bits of AI and the tools there.
Great. If there's no further questions, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.